The distance between the life you are living and the life you imagine is not measured in money. It is measured in thought. Long before wealth appears in the bank, it appears in the mind as a pattern, a way of seeing, deciding, and responding that separates the builders from the spectators. Most people believe the 1% think differently because they are rich. The truth is harder and more liberating. They became rich because they learned to think differently while they were still unknown, unseen, and underestimated. Every transformation begins in secrecy. The seed does not announce itself to the forest. It grows in darkness first, and the mind that will one day command fortune must grow in the same silence. You cannot wait for evidence before you change your thinking. Evidence is the echo of thought, not the cause of it. The world you see is a delayed photograph of the mind you carried yesterday. The majority, in reaction, they adjust their ambition to match their environment. If the room is small, they shrink their dream. If the economy trembles, they tremble with it. If others doubt, they internalize the doubt as if it were law. But the 1% develop an inner jurisdiction that circumstance cannot vote in. Their thinking is not democratic, it is sovereign. This sovereignty begins with a radical decision. Your mind is not public property. It is not a dumping ground for fear, headlines, or inherited limitation. It is a workshop, and every thought admitted is a tool. Some tools build empires, others dismantle confidence. Most people leave the doors open and wonder why their structure collapses under the weight of mental clutter. Carnegie did not accumulate steel by accident. He accumulated certainty first. He trained himself to see opportunity where others saw chaos. Edison did not fail 1,000 times. He refused to label experimentation as failure. Ford did not wait for the world to understand the automobile. He understood it so deeply in his mind that misunderstanding became irrelevant. The 1% are not immune to doubt. They simply refuse to grant it authority. They think in terms of construction. Every setback becomes raw material. Every insult becomes fuel. Every delay becomes strategy. Where the average mind asks, "Why is this happening to me?" the elevated mind asks, "How can this serve me?" That single shift is a lever powerful enough to move a life. Because the question you repeat becomes the direction you travel. Thinking like the 1% is not arrogance, it is responsibility. It is the refusal to let your potential remain theoretical. Most people negotiate with their dreams as if they are optional luxuries. The disciplined mind treats its vision as an obligation, not because success is owed to it, but because unused capacity is a form of quiet tragedy. You are not for neutrality. You were designed expansion. Every idea that excites you is evidence of unused territory in your mind waiting to be claimed. But expansion requires tension. Muscles grow by resistance. Minds grow the same way. The 1% do not avoid difficulty. They interpret it as proof that they are near growth. Comfort is pleasant, but it is rarely profitable. The average seeks relief. The uncommon seeks refinement. Refinement requires belief that survives contradiction. Lincoln carried a nation through division, not because conditions were stable, but because his internal was. He did not outsource conviction to public opinion. And this is the pattern repeated across history. The leaders who shape eras are those who train their thinking to outlast storms. Belief is not blind optimism. It is disciplined imagination. It is the deliberate act of holding a mental picture steady long enough for action to organize around it.